It is a solo podcast. I am back by myself. No guest tonight, so it's just me talking and rambling. Talking. I've already had a good start talking and rambling about a few things. I am going to go through my early season predictions, round by round, game by game. I did it last year, and I was actually pretty close to been pretty spot on. I think what did we win 5.5 games? I said we'd win six. So I'll go through round by round, and I was pretty happy with how I did. Went through it pretty much this time last year, and ended up after the season going through it all round by round. I did buy low and sell high for each player. I didn't. I'm not going to do that tonight, but I probably will go through that eventually. So I will go through that. A little bit of news to catch up on with AFLW. Their trade period had just finished not long ago. And also, we will be covering your questions in the mailbag. Got a few questions in X, and only there wasn't many on Instagram, maybe one or two, I think there was, or something like that. So it's pretty quiet time of year, so a lot of people probably are tuned out of football, getting into the Ashes. Oh, how bad are England, by the way? It's going to be a whitewash, 4-5 now. But they might pitch a test if everything goes their way. But it's actually good to see. Now I'm just going to go on the ramble about the Ashes, but it's actually good to see because England can't really drop anyone. Every time a player looks like they're going to get dropped, they end up making 34 reruns and they keep winning for the next test. Their culture. You talk about cultures. They're just sitting there going to the beach and having a good time, and seem to be enjoying themselves on a holiday rather than actually putting in the work to try and win a test match. Michael Vaughan has been very critical of that, and so he should be. But enough about the cricket talk. So let's start with the questions tonight. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go to the AFLW trade period. Let's start with that. So a few players have left the club, fringe players at best. So we've lost Alice Slocum. She got traded to West Coast Eagles, originally from Western Australia, pretty late pick. And a good opportunity for her to get more opportunities next year. Only played the one game this year, one career game. She played in a Tassie game. It might have been against St Kilda. Looked okay as a small little, not so much a small forward, probably as a half forward, mid-sized forward, and got a few touches, did a few nice things early. That's all I can say about her, really. Might have been delisted. Georgia Stubbs, she has gone to Richmond. As a future fourth rounder or something like that. So a player that probably was likely to get delisted. Was very highly rated when we did draft her a couple of years ago, but unfortunately did an Achilles in her first year, and this year couldn't get an opportunity, even with a lot of injuries that we did have. So she goes to Richmond, hopefully can get some opportunities there. Ariana Hetherington goes to Collingwood. I know they've got Frederick as a ruckman, but surely her use by date is past it. So a good opportunity for her to maybe get that, at least play as a forward ruck. Collingwood are short on options at that football club, to put it nicely. So she gets an opportunity to probably establish herself in a senior team. So full credit to her for leaving. And we did lose Neve Martin as well. She, good young, pressuring small forward. Had some really good moments, not this year, but last year when she did get an opportunity, played a few games. Couldn't get into the finals game and didn't play in the premiership, but she goes to Hawthorn with the club's blessing. And she joins a few Irish girls there with McDonough, Gilroy. I think they've got someone else as well, which the name escapes me. So, yeah, she gets a good opportunity. Go to a club that probably, as much as I did like Hawthorn, and it was nice to beat them and keep them goals in the first final, it goes to a club that probably do take the AFLW game seriously. So a good opportunity for her to grow and develop. So, yeah, good luck to those girls. And we did get a player back from Carlton, Maddie Torpy, backup ruckman, ended up playing 3 games this year. Only 20 years old. Was never going to get a game ahead of Brianna Harrington, who's one of the best ruckmen in the competition. So it was always going to be second fiddle. So a good opportunity for her to go to a club with a good culture and maybe get an opportunity in the next couple of years. Emma King's not getting any younger. Kim Rennie's not getting any younger either. Both girls in their 30s. So maybe a good opportunity to learn off a few veterans and really develop her craft. And yeah, we'll see how we go with that. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Weston Turner from the Western Bulldogs. I think we offered pick 37 as a straight swap. That's our earliest pick in the draft this year. We don't have our first rounder, so Western Bulldogs didn't deem that was good enough. I think they wanted something a little bit better than that, and we held firm. And hopefully, she can slip to us in the draft, which is happening on Monday. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. I'm not too worried about that. So, I've just got a comment come in. This seems to be the usual thing. So, Dizzle 087, word around the inner scrotum is ball to half back. Inner scrotum. It was inner sanctum. So, yeah, wrong choice of words there. So, Dizzle, I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, I think, what's it? Inflatable Cactus came in a couple of weeks ago. I remember it sort of said similar things. So, yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. You certainly hope not. Getting back to, the Western Bulldogs, key forward, name Weston Turner. Name escaped me there for a second. Sorry about that, listeners. But, hopefully on Monday when the draft comes, she can fall to us at 37. The manager seems very confident that she's going to end up a Roo. He said that she doesn't want to move interstate. She didn't want to go to Hawthorn. So he's hoping that they will respect that. And a player that can develop while we still do have Kate Sheila at the club. So who recently re-signed with her partner Emma Carney for another year, which is great news. We really need that strong leadership still at the club. And while we're in that premiership window, and I know we've already won back-to-back, but while we're in it, it makes sense to go for the three-peat. And, we really need those veterans to stay another year, not just high-quality footballers, but high-quality leaders as well. I mean, you've seen Kate Sheila probably changed the game a little bit in the grand final, where I felt like Brisbane were, playing a really good forward half game and dominating the game, really, even though not on the scoreboard. And then we just get that 50-metre penalty. Kate Sheila gets it on the wing and makes it into a 100-metre penalty and kicks an important goal at the time. So just a change the momentum of the game. And someone with a bit of experience like that, it's invaluable. And, you might get a young girl that's probably just happy to get the 50-metre penalty and jog, but whereas Kate Sheila saw an opportunity, it just makes a difference having those seasoned veterans at the club. So, it's good to have those individuals back at the club for another year too. It's really good news. So, hopefully Weston Turner can get to the club at pick 37. And really thrive under the guidance and leadership of North Melbourne Football Club. I'm not too sure how much she got at the Bulldogs, but it'll be really nice for her to develop a year. I only played the 8 games at the Bulldogs, so I'm not too sure what the situation was there. I only played the 1 game this year. I don't know any stories. I don't know any rumours. I haven't heard any second-third information why she wants to leave the Bulldogs. Or possibly wants to go to North Melbourne because we are a successful club and we are interested in someone like that. So you show a little bit of interest. Players' eyes are going to light up and, definitely going to look at a successful club like, a lot of men players do in AFL, and look to clubs like Brisbane. Oscar Allen wanted to leave West Coast, who only won 1 game this year, a captain of the club. Wants to go to Brisbane, and there's been players over the last couple of years that have been out of contract or even in contract, want to go to Collingwood, the bigger clubs, and so forth. So, as successful clubs as well that have played in premierships or in the premiership window. So it only makes sense that Weston Turner wants to come to us as well. Anyways, we'll move forward. So that's it for the AFLW news. I will try and get some players on the next few weeks to talk about the season this year and obviously winning the premiership. Some really good celebrations. So in particular, Jazz Ferguson, Bella Eddie looked like she had a pretty good time on some occasions as well, but they all look like they really enjoyed themselves, and so they should. Unbelievable year, as I've mentioned a number of times and done on the podcast a few times as well. So let's go to your questions now. So I'll go on X to start with. Only not too many. So Jack came in. How many flags do the men's team win now? We have Key Ford as captain. Last time this was the case, we won a couple of premierships. It's a fair point. So, I mean, I'd expect 3 or 4 if we're going to have another key forward like Nick Larkey, very similar to Wayne Carey. So, I expect to win the next 3 flags, to be honest with you, Jack. There's no question about that. Look, at the end of the day, in all seriousness, I'd be happy just to move up that ladder this year, and I'll talk about my win predictions at the end. Leading tower of Elise O'Loughlin, that's obviously at Claire Cozzy. We all know who Claire is. Always good to hear from you, Claire. How many drinks combined have the North Girls staff consumed post flag? Geez, I hate to fathom a guess there, but I assume it's a fair few. Look like Jazz Ferguson looked like she was having a very good time on a lot of occasions, but they all look like they did. Darren Crocker looked like he was enjoying himself on a couple of occasions, and a couple of the assistant coaches like Dan McKenzie and so forth have looked like they've enjoyed themselves. So, Claire, I don't know. Maybe you can ask your close contacts at the club and some good friends you have at the club that play. Maybe you could ask them how many they've consumed. You had Jenna Bruton's 30th only last weekend, I believe it was. So looked like they were continuing the good times. Rue Sowett at Rue Sowett 118. Not a question, just want to say keep up the good work, the content you put up every week. I appreciate the support, Rue Sowett. Now, he's always chiming in with comments, is Rue Sowett, and I really appreciate it. He did donate to my marathon during the course of the year, so I really appreciate that. But more importantly, I appreciate the support as well. So it's always good to get comments of people coming in. So fantastic, and happy that you're enjoying the content, and hopefully that may continue. Graham King comes in with both hindsight and hope. Was the clean out that left us falling on the bottom for years worth it? Granted, we haven't even got out of the bottom 4 yet, but do we need to win flags for it to be a success? And if so, then if we miss our chance, even if we get close to fail? It's a great question, Graham. Now, unfortunately, a lot of those players were 27, 28, and they just didn't take their next step. They sort of peaked probably at 22, 23, 24. When they were under Brad Scott, you talk about your Sean Atleys, Jamie McMillans. And unfortunately, these players were just not good enough for AFL level. I mean, they had their ceiling and they pretty much hit the roof of it when we will finish in 6th, 7th, 8th. And look, they were still at the club. Some of these players were still at the club before that clean out happened. And we won, I think it was 2020. We only won 3 games when all this happened, where we let go of Magic Door, Jamie McMillan, Sean Atley. I think there was about 13 players all up. A couple of young blokes weren't coming through as well as we probably would have liked, like a Tom Murphy. Unfortunately, but in saying that, since then, we've drafted a lot of players and they just haven't come through as well. Like a Charlie Lazaro, a pick in the 30s, but we've drafted too many midfielders as well. Flynn Perez, apparently he's tearing it up in the pre-season for the team. It escapes me, but it looks like he's going to Hawthorn. It looks like he's going to get a list spot. Jack Inovan said he's been, best, like an absolute star in that pre-season for Hawthorn. So a couple of players like that, they've had injuries as well. So, it's probably set us back a little bit. So we had no choice. It's probably more the way we've drafted. That's probably concerned me. And, and the way we've traded as well. We've probably brought in a lot of players that haven't been a success through the trade period as well. I've probably paid overs also, like Callum Coleman-Jones, Jaden Stevenson, and a number of others as well. So, and that's just off the top of my head. And we've tended to draft a lot of midfielders and half forwards over that period as well. So it was interesting. If you want more of an in-depth conversation, more of a detailed conversation about what the recruiting was like. The last episode I did with Jesse, he had the option, he had the privilege of being talking to the recruiting team at North Melbourne Football Club. So you'll get plenty more insights into that on why they drafted maybe a Will Phillips and a number of other mistakes they've probably made as well. So that was my last episode. So if you want to check that out, Graham, make sure to check that out as well. I really enjoyed that chat. None at none 462-08843. He's got a four-part question here. So is our list way too short? So you're probably talking about the smalls we have on the team, and we seem to have drafted a lot of smalls lately. It seems to be a mix of smalls and talls, doesn't it, at the moment? Look, I think we've got one too many of those high half forwards now, or small forwards like a Zach Bench, Charlie Spargo, Robert Hansen. The list goes on and on. It does seem a little bit undersized, if anything. So, and the problem is versatility. A lot of these players can only play like one position as well, which makes it a bit too hard. So maybe some of those players you might see in the future might be, go into the back line or on the wing or something like that. Like Robert Hansen plays on the wing a lot of the time, but I'm not too sure about Jacob Stanty, who could possibly be a player that may look to develop as a lockdown defender. But it's a bit short. Sorry about the cough there, everyone. Number two, do we think Zane will break through this year? I think he'll be given every opportunity. Apparently, his pre-season has been quite solid. Nothing too flashy. He wasn't in the top 10 time trials or anything like that, but he is taking his pre-season very seriously. And as long as he gives himself the best chance at success, then that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. And if he's not good enough, he's not good enough. That's not his fault. We're the ones that drafted him and are developing him, so we've got to take a fair chunk of the responsibility as well. Number three, who is going to be our biggest improver this year? So I've got a couple of players in mind. I will mention them later, so I'm not trying to dodge the question here, but I will mention them later. And where should we be finishing minimum this year? So I'll go through that as well soon. I'm not too worried about ladder positions. It's probably more wins and how competitive we are against teams like Hawthorn, Geelong, and how much we're going to bridge that gap. I mean, that Geelong game last year, where we lose by 100-odd points, Hawthorn, they seem to have the real wood on us at the moment. They seem to be smashing us for fun. The last couple of times, they beat us by 80-odd points last time in Tassie. They look a lot slicker around the ground than we do. So, that's probably what I'm going to be looking at. Andrew Scalise comes in. Do you see Clarko getting sacked by round 7 if we have a poor start to the season, given the favourable opening round fixtures we have? He won't get sacked unless he walks out. It's a money issue as well, and we're still paying him $1 million this year and $1 million in 2027. So I don't think he's going to get sacked. But I did look at I think it's the opening 6 rounds. It's quite a soft draw. I will be going through game by game there in a minute. So if he starts, 2-4 or 1-5, then the onus and the pressure is really going to be on him and the coaching staff to try and turn it around, because the draw gets really tough from round 6 onwards as well. Next 4 or 5 weeks after that is really, really tricky. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And that's about it from the questions there. I do have one on Instagram, only from the Shin Boners podcast, from Bailey Tyson. He's a superstar, Bailey, isn't he? So hopefully you're all listening to his podcast. He does some really great work, and I really like and I haven't mentioned this, but I really like the coverage he does for the AFLW as well. There's been a couple podcasts that have really taken coverage with the AFLW and given them a platform, which is really good to see. I mean, not that they need it; they've been winning every game. They've won every game for the last 2 years, but it's really good that these guys like Bailey and so forth are really covering the AFLW. I think it's really important because at the moment, I know it's getting a lot of negative coverage at the moment because of how dominant we were. So yeah, we just got to keep putting the positivity out there. And he's had a few AFLW players on as well. So that's Bailey. So yeah, full credit to him for that. But his question is, and I'll have to get you on soon too, Bailey. We've missed each other the last couple of times. Dino, who gets the opening small forward spots in 2026? I am going to go Lockie Davison. He seems like the clubs seem to have drafted him thinking he's going to be the round one small forward. So he's probably, I'm going to guess he's spot 1A, rated the best small forward in the competition. In the draft, sorry, in 20. Well, I wish it was a competition in 2025. So I'm going to go him. Clarkson seems to really like Costanti. I hope it's not him, but you have to think Charlie Spargo is probably going to get an opportunity. Bit strange, like I know last podcast of this, Jesse was talking. I don't know if he mentioned it or he might have mentioned off air. They sort of looked at Charlie Spargo as a player that they really like Viney Clarko. They really valued his high not work ethic, but well, sorry everyone. The standards he brings to training and high character individual. So I think he's going to get that opportunity round one. So they're probably 1 and 2. Costanti will be up there. I'm hoping Zach Bench, he's looking quite good as far as time trials go. So hopefully he's right up there. Roll Hanson, I'm out on, to be honest with you, Bailey. I just didn't like the way his attitude was towards the end of last year. So, Paul Curtis, I mean, he was a small forward, not too sure. Probably more of your Lindsay Thomas type of forward. That's not, in a traditional sense of small forward. So, we've got plenty of forward options still. So, that's which is really good to see. We'll definitely need that. But thanks to everyone for all the questions there. I really appreciate it. Obviously, men's program. We've got Nick Larkey as captain. That's been announced in the last few days. A great choice as well. You look at the leadership group, and it's pretty good. LDU comes in for his first time. I'm pretty sure it's Charlie Coleman's first time. So, and Tristan Sherry as well. So a complete different leadership group as opposed to the previous years. Guys that are in the early and mid-20s are going to be a big part of the future. So these are the guys that you want setting the standards. So really good appointments. Nick Larkey talks so well with the media. He's a lovable guy. He really is. He's been on the North Melbourne podcast with the boys, Ian Oates and so forth. The name. I'm hopeless after 7 o'clock, especially since you've been awake since about 2:30 this morning. I had to get up early for work. So, in my stupid, ignorant wisdom, instead of getting sleep, I probably should have got more sleep instead of getting up and going to the gym at that time. But anyways, the name escapes me. In Clarko We Trust, of course. It's in Clarko We Trust. They obviously cover the AFLW as well this year, so full credit to them. But they've had Nick Larkey on a couple of times. He speaks so well. He's just a really lovable guy, and there's a couple of things he even mentioned. I think I listened to a press conference today on SEN or the last couple of days or whatever it was, that he's got to work on a couple of things. And I think his body language is going to be really important. He has been quite frustrated in the past when players have kicked the ball over his head and so forth. So he's got to set the standards a little bit better than that, not mope and sook around with things like that and whinge about delivery up the field. He's got to bring the energy in the right way. So, it's a good leadership group, covering all ones as well. Charlie Coleman in the back line. So, I've just got a question come in here. It's good that you guys are coming in. So, at Lee Buckholtz 2801, AFLW question. Main criticism of the W is lack of scoring. Should North play more shootout, high scoring games? We score the points and we just stop the points. It's pretty simple, Lee. we can't just let the other teams score goals. They can't score goals against us because their defence is so good. Have you seen Jazz Ferguson play league? I mean, there's nothing that gets past her. There's nothing to get past Libby Birch, Erica O'Shea, Emma Carney. It's a brick wall. No teams can kick more than 2 goals because of the defensive setup we've got. We've got a great system there, and we kick goal and we kick big scores as well. What did we kick? 114 points, the highest score in an AFLW game, the highest winning margin against, I think it was Fremantle. It was a day I did the marathon, so you'd think I know. It was August 31st. It was about round 6 or something like that. We've had plenty of shootouts one way, so that's just the way it is. Lee, it's like Emma Carney said, it's up to these teams to get to our level, not for us to drop down to theirs. And some of these teams, I can tell you right now, there's probably half the teams in the competition that don't take their program too seriously. I know Anne Hatchard has gone to Gold Coast. I think it's a smart move by the Crows because last few weeks Anne Hatchard really struggled and they got a good price for her. And I think Gold Coast just thought, well, she's a name, we'll get her in. Hopefully she can change the culture. And yeah, I think Adelaide seemed to write on the wall that Anne Hatchard was really struggling the last few weeks and thought, well, we might as well sell her while we can. And that's the reason why they've got a really good deal. I think they've got a top 4 pick or something like that in the draft. So they will rebuild fairly quickly. They'll get a new coach. They'll put that Adelaide Crows will put the right processes in place to get the right coach, and they'll be a club that will come back up in the next year or two. I've got no doubt about that. But you got some teams, a big club team in Melbourne. I won't mention their name. That really don't look like they put any effort or very minimal effort in their program. So if anyone wants to come up with that, that they can let me know. But okay. Anyways, sorry about that ramble. I really struggle when I'm talking. My throat completely dries up. So I'm just going to have a quick drink. Otherwise, you'll probably hear me having a coughing fit. Okay, that is much better. All right, so my round by round predictions. So round 1, we played Port Adelaide Power in Marvel at Marvel Stadium. At Marvel Stadium. At first time we're catching up with Jason and Francis. I'm sure that he will get very nice applause. Now I have gone a loss in round 1 only because it's I think first game coaches, which will be Josh Carr, have got something like a ridiculous winning percentage of like 76% for first game coaches. So I'm going to go a loss by 15 points. So, so a 0-1 start. I know a lot of people are looking at that game as a win, but I don't think it's going to be the be all and end all. It's round 1. Anything can happen. But usually first game coaches end up winning. So that's why I've got Port Adelaide there. Round 2, not that I think Port Adelaide are going to be great next year anyway. Round 2, we've got West Coast. So over in Perth, but I'll go a win by 28 points. Round 3, so we're going to 1-1. Round 3, Bombers. Yep, we are going to smash them next year. It's on a Saturday night at Marvel. We're going to win by 22 points there and a quite comfortable victory. Turn the hoodoo around, put the onus and the pressure back on Brad Scott. So Good Friday, we go to round 4 against Carlton. I'm going to go win, a convincing win, 31 points. We're going to be on a high after beating the Bombers. We're going to beat these big Melbourne clubs. So we're going to go off to a 3-1 start. Now, round 5, Brisbane Lions. I'm going a loss, but I think Brisbane, this is just me thinking while I'm in the shower and so forth, that I think Brisbane are going to start pretty slow next year. Back-to-back premierships, they're not going to go in 5th gear straight away. So I'm going to go a loss by about 19 points. That's at Barossa Valley in Gather Round. It would be nice to put in a competitive performance after a few ordinary displays in the Gather Round. So round 6, I've gone Richmond. I've gone a win by 40 points. They're still developing. They're a developing club, and they're a club that could win less games this year than last year. I think they won 5, so I think that's their ceiling. So I expect them to only win 3 or 4 next year. Round 7 against the Giants. It's a club we struggle against. I've gone a loss by 20 points. Round 8 against the Geelong Cats. These are always tough games. A loss by 42 points. So after being 4-2, we'll go to 4-4. Round 9, we play the Swans. I've gone a loss by 26 points. We seem to struggle against them too. We really had a bad loss to them last year at Marvel. So I'm not confident against the Swans. I expect them actually to have a decent year next year. Round 10 against the Crows, I think that's in Adelaide. I've gone a convincing loss by 37 points. And round 11 before the bye against the Gold Coast Suns, that is at Marvel. I've gone a loss by 25 points, a club that is on the up as well. So, yeah, after winning 4 of the first 6, I've gone 5 losses in a row. So, yeah, and then we have the bye in round 12. So, and then round 13, we play Fremantle. I've gone another loss by 14 points. That's obviously the 2 Perth games coming up. But we're going to turn it around in the next few weeks after that. Round 14 against West Coast, I've gone to win by 39 points. Doesn't matter if it's in Perth. I expect to win and win well against them. A bit of an ordinary team. Round 15, Richmond, a win by 21 points this time. A bit more of a competitive performance by the Tigers. Bombers, round 16. So we play them again, play them twice, and we're going to beat them twice next year, aren't we, listeners? A win by 15 points. Then we play Port Adelaide over in Adelaide. I've gone a loss by 9 points this time. Round 18 against the Pies, I've gone a close loss because it's Collingwood. They'll get something fluky will happen and we'll lose by 3 points. Round 19 against the Demons, I've gone a win by 16 points. I don't expect the D's to be any good next year. They've got rid of Petrarca, Clayton Oliver, the engine room, and replaced him with Jack Steele, who was a fringe player at the Saints last year. So I expect him to regress a fair bit next year. Round 20 against the Saints, I've gone a loss by 8 points. Pretty similar last year. Just that Ross Lyon team, very hard to beat. It's going to be an ordinary game. They always are. But defensively, the Saints are very hard. Round 21 against the Hawks, I've gone a loss by 46 points. Just the Hawks can't match up against them. So I'm hoping it's going to be better than that, but even that's an improvement from the last couple of times we've played them, I think. Round 22 against the Bulldogs, I've gone a loss by 30 points. Another team we struggle to match up against, so I expect them another loss there. The Cats. So it finishes off really tough. Hawks, Bulldogs, Cats, lost by 33 points. And the last round against the Swans, I've gone nothing to play for, no finals, no top 10 finish or 10th finish. I've gone a loss by 21 points. So my win-loss record next year is I'm going for 8 wins, 14 losses. So hoping that we can get to 10 or 11, but we don't want to win any less than 8, to be honest with you, listeners. And if we can win 8 and be a bit more competitive against the Hawks and the Cats and some of those top teams like the Lions as well, then that goes a long way to showing improvement. B&F winner, I've gone Harry Sheezel. I think just playing midfield next year, it's a logical choice. He'd be the odds-on favourite, and touch wood, no injuries. He'll definitely be up there again. So imagine that, 3 best and fairest finish wins, and he'll only be 21 years old. That's crazy. He's going to win about 10 of them the way he's looking. So, surprise top 5 player in the B&F. I've gone Griffin Logue. I think this could be the year that we see Griffin Logue be the player that we recruited him to be. Came second in the time trial. Maybe he's taking his pre-season a lot more seriously. I still remember his first year, and he looked okay that first half of the year. The problem was when he did his ACL, he hasn't been the same player. But now is the time that Griffin Logue takes over that key defender role, becomes a good intercept player, a good one-on-one player, more importantly, kills every contest like he can. So I'm going to go Griffin Logue to finish in the top 5 in the B&F next year, sorry. Best first-year player, I've gone Lockie Daviston. I think that's a pretty obvious one. I mean, you got Blake Threadgold as well. Yeah, they're probably the two main ones. If Blake Threadgold gets a game, but I don't think he'll get the opportunities like Logan Daviston will. And most improved, I'm going to go George Wardlaw. Now, I know a lot of people are sort of saying, "Oh, geez, that's a pretty safe bet." I think his possessions, I think he only averaged 18 last year. Hopefully, he gets concussion issues right. It's more of a hope thing. I still worry about concussion issues, the way he plays the game. So, yeah, hopefully we can get 20 games out of him next year. No soft tissue injuries, and he can average 23, 24 touches a game. We want him to start, showing a little bit more consistency out in the AFL football field, because there were games this year where he wasn't as good as we hoped he would. Great use of the English language, but yeah, we certainly hope for a lot of improvement from George Wardlaw next year. And I've gone Josh Goda as a player, as a little bit of a sneaky one. I'm still pessimistic about, not pessimistic, optimistic about him. Not pessimistic, optimistic that he can turn into a player that we hope he can. Now, if you want to see what he's capable of, I suggest you go watch his first ever game. It was Jason Horne-Francis' last ever game for the club. It was 2022, was it? Or 2023? It must have been 2023 into 2023. It was at Marvel Stadium. Did we play Gold Coast? I can't remember who we played, but he was awesome that game, and that was his debut game. There's a lot of Josh Waddell about him. I like the way he goes about his football. He's got a good line breaking ability. Tore his Achilles in round 1 2024, and unfortunately had a lot of soft tissue injuries this year as well. I still maintain Achilles injuries are 2-year injuries. Once he gets his body right, he'll get confidence back into himself, and hopefully he's still got that pace, line breaking ability, and he can start a halfback in round 1 next year. So that is a player that I'm going to go for most improved. So that is it from me. So sorry, Lee, you came in and said 8 wins with percentage in a high A's, I'll take. So yeah, I mean, I suppose that's an undervalued thing, isn't it? Percentage. We don't talk about percentage much, so yeah, that's a fair point. If you can have a percentage close to 90, that's a big improvement. So that's where you've got to look at it. I mean, you can get a lot of close losses and then win a lot of big games, and yeah, you can certainly or you certainly can have a good percentage at the end of the day, and that's a sign of good improvement as well. I mean, if you win 8 games and have a percentage of 60, it usually generally means that you've been thumped in too many games. So yeah, very good point there, Lee. So thanks for coming in, and thank you to all your listeners for coming in. That's it for me tonight. Now I am donning the Premiership gear that came in the mail today. I've got the Premiership cap just here. If you can look at this on YouTube, it looks pretty mint. I've got the Premiership scarf, so the back-to-back, and the Premiership T-shirt. So I'm not too sure how much is left as far as ordering goes. I think the club is still promoting it. They've still got some stuff left, so definitely do that. I had Premiership beer as well last weekend with the Jason Horne-Francis Ice Lager beer, so I was celebrating a little bit late about the Premiership, but why not? And like I said with you listeners, I'll definitely try and get some AFLW players on over the coming weeks to share their experiences about this year. It's obviously a tough time of year with Christmas coming up, so I have already seen a few players that have gone away, so on holidays and so forth, and so they should. They've definitely earned it. But like I said, that's it from me tonight. I'll be back next week. I'm not too sure what I'm going to cover. Today was just a quick episode. I'm going to try and keep the episodes a little bit shorter, probably this year. I know sometimes this year, next year I should say. I know sometimes this year I had the episodes going for well over an hour. I'm going to try and keep them 40, 50 minutes max. I don't, but sometimes there's a lot to cover as well. So sometimes it will go over an hour. But I'll have to wait and see. When you buy yourself like I am tonight, then generally speaking, the episodes can go, fairly. a lot shorter, that's for sure. Anyways, don't forget, like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell all your friends about the podcast. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the people that messaged me saying that my podcast was the top podcast I listen to with the Spotify Wrapped and, or whatever podcast platform they use. I really appreciate all the kind things you all said. Make sure to listen to All North content. Money Cohen's doing some fantastic work with her stuff. Josh, Jason, Bailey, they're all doing some great things. In Clarko we trust as well. They've been in contact with me a couple of times as well. So I'll definitely be on their podcast next year. So make sure to check everyone's out. The more North content you can get, the better. So and make sure to give them a follow and show your support. That's it from me for tonight. Like I said, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff to help the show. I appreciate it. So that's it. Bye for now, and go Roos.